Hello everybody, I am back, and today I took a 1 week break from the Smash content because Pokemon Sun or Moon released last Friday, and those are like really huge, and I love those games so much, oh my god. I actually just caught a shiny Mimikyu yesterday after 3 days of chaining, which was awesome, but enough about that. Today I'm going to be bringing you the lower mid tiers of my tier list. Now, the difference between, say, a bottom tier, like the bottom tiers are all these characters, these 6, I think have realistically no chance of competing. These guys won't do much, but can occasionally get random upsets, such as taking Abadango to game 5, taking a set off to Buzz, taking a set off of Trella, taking Mr. R to game 5, and so on and so forth. These low mid tiers are now we're in the characters that I think can at least somewhat regularly top 8 if their best players are in attendance. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, the first character is, well, this character is a very fundamentally driven character. They have a lot of power behind their hits, but they're also quite slow. They have a huge disjoint, pretty simple combos. They can kill really early, so that's always a plus. And that character is going to be Ike. So yeah, Ike. No, not high mid, low mid. Okay. Yeah. He kills really early, which is always a plus. His back air is so threatening, like, you guys have no idea. He's got some pretty good fundamental combos. His down throw starts killing as a start cap around the same time as Greninja's up throw, as far as I remember. His up throw leads into a 50-50 where you're pretty much losing either way to the fair. Like, this character has no trouble racking up damage or killing. The problem with Ike lies is that in that he's a little slow. His recovery isn't the worst, but is relatively easy to intercept. And a lot of his moves have a lot of lag, although that can be mitigated because stuff like back air and jab and nair just randomly have almost no lag. And all those moves are really good. So yeah, he's a Sardi with a more functional grab and throw game than some others, which is always nice. But I feel like because of how awful his mobility is, that just kind of leads to the issue of he can just be like ran away from a lot, although eventually if he hits you once, then that's going to hurt, and then you have to approach him. But I feel like he does have a few notable flaws because he has to work for everything. Despite his power, he does have to work for everything a lot. And while it's not as noticeable with him as some other characters who have to work for pretty much everything, that combined with bad mobility and a relatively easy to get recovery means he can be a little under rewarding. In fact, a lot of his best names, such as Rio plays Ike Roy Corrin in tournaments, and then Ryuga pretty much only plays Corrin now. But there is still San, and Waldo, I believe his name is. So yeah, he still has some rep. This next character is a very interesting character. They have a lot of tech around them, and they're able to change how they play pretty much on a whim whenever they need to. The issue therein lies that it can be difficult for them to, well, they're slow unless they're in a specific mode, and they have a lot of lag. But that really just, the word specific mode made it obvious. This is Shulk. So yeah, I do think Shulk is, I think he's in the spot. I think this is the perfect spot for him. With Monado Arts, he can pretty much do anything. Like, he can have the highest jumps in the game, he can be second fastest, he's not faster than Sonic. He can rack up damage with Buster, he can be the heaviest character in the game with Shield. And yeah, the problem, I think that Shulk's actually really quite good, and I think it, like, fine-tuned Shulk is frightening. So, the problem, I think, is that, well, his aerials, unless you get Monado Art landing lag canceling, or pretty much all of his moves, like, they have either really bad auto-cancel windows in his aerials, again, unless Monado Art landing lag canceling. Like, his aerials have as much lag as DDDs. And a lot of his other moves are slow. He's actually really slow without speed mode, but with speed mode he's super fast, so that makes up for it. I think the main issue with Shulk really is that he has say, an art for... He, in theory, has an art for every situation, but in practice there are situations where arts aren't going to help you that much, such as trying to get down, where I guess jump could help. But yeah, really solid character. He does have players like Nico and Dark Wolf and Masha, who are all like really good. And they do occasionally pull results. So yeah, that's Shulk. Alright, this next character. When I said Zelda was half a character in one definition, this is the other definition of half a character. Because this character only is like half a functional toolkit and the other half is terrible. But this character actually has really good tools, just has really good tools of what they have. And that is going to be Palutena. Whoops. Yeah, Palutena, a lot of her moves suck. Her tilts, probably some of the worst tilts in the game. Same for her forward and down smash. You can make an argument for 2 or even 3 of her specials being among the worst in the game of their kind, even. But what she has a really solid grab game, just solid kill strings, solid combo strings, relatively high damaging combos. Her up smash is really unique, and it's pretty usable. Her back air just is her best move, period. Because the shield, it makes it so it pretty much can't be stopped. Dash attack is a similar property. But, yeah. I'm having trouble deciding. Just, like, I don't know Shulk very well at all. I don't know Palutena. I can't really talk too much about. But yeah, like, I'm having trouble describing some of these characters because Palutena is a very fundamental character. It's a lot of the simple, oh, I'm going to space around with back air and use some warps to get in, grab you, do some damage, rack it up quickly, and then kill you with up air, which is frightening. Nair is a kill move for some reason. Back air kills. Fair is... it's her best down throw follow-up at low percents. Her up throw is a stock cap. Her up smash can just catch landings. Warp is pretty solid and definitely underrated. And yeah, I do think Palutena's weaknesses come in the fact that... I feel like she's good at a lot of stuff, but she isn't great at a lot of stuff, you know? Like, there isn't any single place in the game where I'd say she's really outstanding. And there is a few places where she's really bad, but there are also some places where she's great. And the results back it up, such as Prince Ramen defeating Zero. So yeah, that's a thing. Alright, this next character I know a lot about, which probably just spoiled it already. But yeah, we're going to be talking about my main Link. Link is, in my opinion, heavily underrated, or although Ava thinks he's top 20, which I don't get. I think 35th is great. He's got a pretty capable zoning game. Bombs, Link's bombs specifically, not Toon Link's, those are worse. Link's bombs specifically are one of the best projectiles in the game, in my opinion. His boomerang's alright, his arrows even have some use, and he has actual range on his sword to form a rather competent zoning game. He doesn't lose to shields. Well, he'd probably be better if his grab wasn't so awful. But despite a bad grab, he does have outs against shield, such as he has shield break set up, such as like bomb and fair and one hit of S smash. And he breaks the shield really easily. He has actual grab award, such as a somewhat functional down throw combo that also has a 50-50 at higher percents that just kills if it hits. He's got a killing up throw. His sword's great for ranging. His aerials have a surprisingly little amount of lag. Like, his back air is the least amount of lag out of any back air in the game, for instance. His Nair has really low lag. His up air and down air can both be auto-cancelled. His fair has really low lag for the kind of move it is. He has jab combos, like jab jab forward smash as a mix-up, jab jab up B as a mix-up, jab jab up smash even, jab jab grab. Yeah, he has a really coherent and functional toolkit that a lot of people don't give him credit for. He also has no struggle killing, but I feel like he's too slow. I'm just going to be honest here. In my opinion, that is the only thing holding Link back, is that he is too slow. And he can make up for that with his zoning ability, but he's slow and he can't really land. He doesn't have a great out of shield option. So unless you have a bomb, if you're holding a bomb in your hand, then your shield is pretty much a landmine. As in, you have to be very careful about how you want to pressure Link's shield, because his bomb could go off and hit you, and then A competent Link can just, like, bomb up air, and that just kills you for hitting your shield at high percents, or bomb dare if you're near the ledge. His recovery isn't as awful as people make it out to be because you have a bomb to extend it. His bombs also are, I think, like 4 seconds shorter than Toon Link's in terms of actual exploding time. I don't think 4 seconds, but like, I know his do more damage and take less time to explode than Toon Link's. Yeah, he is combo food, although you really have to be wary of, say, Dare and Nair. Because down air is a good combo breaker, it's not good. But I mean, you don't really want to contest with a sword, do you? Although, his combo breaking, he relies a lot on having a bomb in hand, and because he's so slow, he doesn't always have the ability to run away and reset neutral to give him the opportunity to have a bomb in hand, and I think that's what really holds it back. Though, T did beat Renai, which is amazing. T is... I think he's also beaten Kirihara. And yeah, Link does have great rep in T. There's Izza and Kat from Europe. There's Scizor from SoCal and Sova, known from MDVA. So it's not like he's lacking the rep, but his rep doesn't really travel. I'm so hyped for Frostbite 17, though, because T's making his first appearance. Let's hope it goes well. Alright, these next characters are... These two characters, which I'm grouping together because they're the same character, which totally spoiled it. Pit and Dark Pit. You remember when I said that with Ike you have to work hard for a lot of stuff? If you want any sort of ground with pits, with either of these pits, Pit or Redundant Pit, you will need to absolutely outplay your opponent 100% of the time. That's kind of how the characters work. They're very neutral focused, and if you win neutral, it really does show that they're meant for people who play the neutral. And they do have a really solid neutral, so hey, points to them, but their advantage is really lackluster. I mean, honestly, with the pits, I mean, they've got some good attributes about them. Pit's arrow is nice, even though it's really low damaging. Redundant Pit, Dark Pit, whatever you want to call him, his side B is actually scary. They both have the frame 5 down smash, relatively decent recovery, although I feel that people give it way too much respect considering it doesn't have a hitbox, and it's also really slow. It's not even like Rosalina's where it goes relatively fast. It's a slow recovery, and your slow mid-air jumps don't help. But outside of those, Pit's just lacking. His advantage is honestly quite horrible. His juggling's alright, but he really needs to keep you either in juggling or hit you win neutral 5 times, but then your opponent just wins neutral once and they've accomplished the same thing. And if you just get out neutral, then you're going to lose because if you're losing in the neutral as a Pit, you don't have anything going for you. His hitboxes are actually quite awful. Like, just look at his Nair hitbox. The thing with Nair is that the outside third of the staff doesn't have a hitbox on it. And I think it's a similar deal with Fair. So, unfortunately, Pit doesn't really have a functioning game, but I feel as though it's slightly better than these guys, if only because Earth is amazing and it's done... Like, 9th at EVO is arguably better than a win over Anai, a win over Zero. I really don't know what you've done, and I really don't know what you've done. But, honestly, I do believe that the Pits are just too honest, and you have to work way too hard for them to be amazing characters, unless you're Earth. And yes, I know there's like 2 other Pit mains in the world that do well. But Earth is bringing in like so much of Pit's results, and Dark Pit gets no results, so there's really no point in mentioning him. That I can't help but wonder if it's just Earth. Like, if Earth just has the understanding of the neutral to make Pit work that other people don't. And even then, Earth lost to Zero just because he got out-neutraled, and Diddy's advantage state is better than Pit's. And that's pretty much what the character comes down to. You gotta win neutral 100% of the time, and if you don't, you're screwed. So yeah, next character. Alright, this next character... Oh, 3 heavies right now, cool. This next character has a somewhat famous kill confirm and how early it kills, but they struggle in a lot of other areas. Their tilts are good, their back air is good, but they have to rely on just chip damaging you until they get a grab at kill percents, and that character is going to be DK. Now, I know it looks weird seeing DK down here, since he does do some things now and then, but then again, so do all these characters, and even some of these characters, but not these characters. But anyways, DK is a character, he suffers from being a heavyweight. It's kind of just an inherent design flaw of all the heavyweights. Although he makes up for it by having actual good reward, which all the other heavyweights that I've already talked about lack substantially. The Ding Dong is pretty incredible. It's like the only thing that saves his character, in my opinion. So his tilts are great, his backer is great. He's a lot of different ways to end your stock, but it's kind of irrelevant because he's once again combo food just for being a heavyweight. Although he does have good ground and air mobility, so that's something at least, unlike some other characters. And then, yeah, the Ding Dong really does make this character, but he is combo food. His recovery is really poor, unless you're going horizontally, in which case it's really solid. But you do have to respect DK, because he does have a reliable kill confirm and can actually beat shield without having to try and break it. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. Again, this tier is a lot of simple characters. This next character is, in my opinion, a pretty objectively better version of DK, and that will be Bowser. And now, I know it looks strange seeing Bowser above DK to some of you, but I personally think Bowser just has what it takes to be better than DK. Like, I do believe that Bowser is slightly faster, although don't quote me on that. I could very feasibly be wrong. His tilts are actually phenomenal. His up B out of shield might be the best out of shield option in the game. Frame 4, invincible from startup. Does a lot of damage. He can actually sort of land, although not overly reliably, and it's still pretty bad landing. Because, like, down air and down B, you do have to somewhat respect. His side B, if you get caught, you can just get it shifted on you and give Bowser full stage control. And side B auto-cancels upon hitting the ground anyways. He's got Fire Breath, which can, like, stop some characters long enough to maybe get him to the ground. His recovery is slightly better than DK's in terms of vertical distance. Although Bowser's, I don't know what people call this anyways, Bowser's hoo-ha thing is slightly worse. He makes up for that by having a better kit all around. And yeah, that's why I think Bowser is better. Oh yeah, and Ally's a better win than anything a DK main has done, last I checked. But yeah. The next character, and the last character in this tier, is another heavyweight, and I think the last of the true super heavyweights. This character plays different than all the other super heavies, although he is still combo meat. He can try to land, but a lot of his moves have really poor startup, despite having great end lag. A lot of his game is revolving around one thing and just trying to keep it around one thing, although it is possible to turn that one thing against him. And that character is going to be Rob. Rob, again, suffers from heavyweight syndrome in that, you know, he's combo meat. He is. He's big, he's heavy, he doesn't really have a great way to land, although Nair does auto-cancel. A lot of his gameplay revolves around gyro, but he has some really bad matchups, such as, say, ZSS, where you get in, and, like, if you get in on Rob, he's going to struggle more than the other heavies, because he doesn't really have the, oh, I'll just kill you at 10 factor. That's a bit of an exaggeration. But Rob can do that. The beat boop is incredible, but Rob doesn't have, I don't know, like, it's the same thing with a lot of heavyweights, except slightly worse with Rob, in that he can't really, how do I say it? He needs to get away. Unlike the other heavyweights, which want to just play the boxing game, Rob needs to get away. And if Rob doesn't get away, then, well, yeah, have fun. That's all I can say. Although, Gyro is really good, and I think Gyro alone gives him an edge over some of the other heavyweights, despite Gyro plus the beat boop. His recovery is long again, but it's really, really easy to exploit because of the fuel mechanic. And yeah, I feel like if I'm not saying anything for the heavyweights, it's because I feel like I've said it 5 times at this point. But yeah, Rob's game plan revolves around the gyro, and his game plan is really good if you can get fully set up, which is why I think he's better than all these characters. But if he gets stopped from being set up, then it's not going to be a fun time for Rob. And yeah, that's going to be everyone in low mid. We are about halfway down the cast. Yeah, there's only 29 characters so up here, but yeah. So we're about halfway down the cast, and like, these characters are all characters capable of making top 8 somewhat regularly. These characters are capable of pulling off upsets. These characters aren't capable of doing anything, really. except for extremely rare circumstances. And then the high mids and the mid highs and the tops are these characters you're going to regularly see placing well. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll be back next Friday with another part of my Smash Bros. Tier list. If you like my content, Smash or Pokemon, please don't be afraid to subscribe. It really helps. And yeah, bye-bye.